whether creepy and scary or cute and cuddly. Scarecrows have been around for over 3,000 years to scare away the crows for these farmers. And it's definitely a staple for your fall decor. Today, let me show you how I made this adorable primitive scarecrow. If you see my firecracker tutorial, this is that. So all I'm going to do is, in the blink of an eye, poof. All I did was went in and removed the staples and the stick. So here what I have is some flat trim. And what I'm doing is kind of just laying out where this is going to be the hat. Up there. And then for his arms. So I'm just spacing out what I think will look good here. And I'm going to have to go in with my little hand saw and cut this. But I hit it lucky with that hat part. And to make sure it was spaced even, I just took my roller and from the corner of the wood, I just measured out so far so they were equal on each side. Yeah, what I did is I used that piece to draw my line so I know where to space off for the hat because I'm going to paint that. And then his face is going to be this little middle rhombus shape in the middle. And I'm just going to draw a line here so I have the perfect spacing to paint his face. And I'm going to do this whole bottom portion black, same as the hat. So we need the nose, and I got some corner trim too. So I'm just kind of measuring with my roller so I don't make his nose too big. And that was a chore cutting with my little hand saw. It shouldn't have took 20 minutes. But again, I'm just laying it out before I paint it. Make sure it's exactly how I want it. And our scarecrow can't be naked. So we're going to make him a nice shirt here. This is just plain unstained muslin fabric. And what I did is took a piece of fabric and just folded it in half. And put it over that piece of trim there. And you can always go back in and cut it to make them skinnier to fit your board. That's what I had to do. And then I cut 2 sleeves. I took and measured just like that. So it will be covered on each side. Then I overlapped the fabric. So to attach it, I'm just going to go in and cake on a nice thick coat of Mod Podge. And I did the sleeves first, and then I stacked the 2 square pieces to be his midsection. I did that last. But just watch and you'll see. And once I did get that layer of Mod Podge, I just went and smoothed out with my hand. Just like that. Then I flip it over and do the back side. Same exact thing. And you can make any little adjustments, like this wasn't sticking that well in this end of his other sleeve, so I just went in with more Mod Podge and attached it. Just kind of pinching the pieces together there between my hands as I'm smoothing it. So for the middle, same exact thing. I stack that, 1 piece on the top, 1 piece on the bottom. And I lined it up the top of where that fabric is on the arms. Like that. So they'll all line up at the top. And for the body again, I added the Mod Podge on the actual fabric. And just smooth it down. Now I don't want my Scarecrow looking so fresh and so clean, so I just go in coffee grunge, front, back, his arms, and let it air dry. So you see where I painted it black. That's going to be his like leg part and his hat part. And now we need to color in his face. So to do that, I used my Dollar Tree Vermilion Orange and my Apple Barrel Yellow Flame. And I just mixed a real light peach color. And to mix my colors, I just do it, if you can see right here, I just take a little each time till I get that perfect shade that I want to paint it with. I went in and gave it 2 coats of paint and just set it off to dry. This is one of my top favorite things I've ever made. It's just so precious. And fall is my favorite time of year. I love everything about it. Every single thing. The colors, the pumpkins, scarecrows, witches, goblins, ghosts. You name it, I love it. So what I'm doing now is just going to go in and kind of distress up the black. Dry brushing some of my white acrylic paint. Ever so slightly. On his hat portion and on his pant portion, body, whatever. And his little stick part. I didn't paint the back of it, but I did paint the sides. And the top and bottom. So here's my nice nose I said I had from that quarter round, I think it's called, trim. And to get that darker color, I used the Vermilion Dollar Tree acrylic paint and just added a little baby drop of burnt umber. If you think it's the nicest orange you've ever seen in your life and want to recreate it. That's what I did. So I just attach his little hat rim, whatever, with hot glue. And I made sure to put some pressure so it will stick. And, you know, this is kind of looking like a pilgrim. You can do this for Thanksgiving as a pilgrim. So what's a scarecrow without a crow? So I just took a piece of cardboard, a scrap piece, and I used that. And I'm just going to trace out this crow shape that I just went in and freehand drew. Kind of looks like a crow. So I cut it out of my fabric, and I'm just going to hot glue it on to my piece of cardboard. I could have Mod Podged it, but I like the texture that the hot glue gives. So I nicely place it on and gently just dab it down so I don't get burnt. And I just went around and cleaned it up if there was like any cardboard sticking out. So for his wing, I just took a piece of fabric, folded it in half, and cut a point at the end. And I'm just going to glue it together. Fold her in half like a sandwich. Press it down. And then we're just going to add a little dab of hot glue to the back of it and stick it on where his wing goes. It's easier too to clean up fabric with dull scissors. If you glue it down first like I just did, makes it easier. So there's my hot glue little dot, and smack her on there. And to make sure it was all stuck down good, I just ever so nicely went around and made sure it was all hot glued on all the seams. So I want to kind of decorate this. If you notice that little berry circle up there on his hat. But first I want to make my crow kind of stand out because it's going to be on his hat and it's black. So I just took my white acrylic paint and my little brush here and just kind of went around and gave it a rough sketched outline look. Like it wasn't a perfect, precise line work. And I let that dry. So, I had this sunflower from a garland I have. And I'm thinking I want to add that too, because I love sunflowers. But first I'm going to take and just glue this berry little wreath looking thing down. Now this just screams primitive. And then I just hot glue my sunflower. And then I'm going to put the crow kind of in the middle there and hot glue that down. So here was my coffee, here's a shirt that was Coffee Grunge now that it's dry. And I just attach him too with hot glue on the back and press him firmly onto my body. So with my bandana, I just took and made the triangle shape with it folded in half and tied a double knot on each corner. And then I applied my hot glue to each knot. And I only did that because to make the knot fatter, so it'd be easier to glue down. So I wanted another little accessory, so I just took a piece of my old jean fabric, cut it in a square, then I cut a pumpkin shape out of some scrap orange fabric. And I'm thinking that'd be cute down on his bottom there. And I have this piece of pigtail looking curly something from an old plant I had. But I just hot glue all that down onto each other. And this stem that I'm using here was from my garland, fall garland I had from a leaf. I just plucked it off. So now I'm just going in and making sure that his shirt's attached good and his bandana. For his bandana, I kind of like gave it that scrunch effect. And I would just go in and place hot glue and then just kind of finagle there with his bandana. You can just watch. Then his knots were a little long, that fabric hanging out, so I just went in with my scissors and hacked it. And that was it. And to hang it on my wall, once I decorate for fall, I'm just going to go in with my staple gun and some string and make a loop, and I'm going to hang it. Let me know down in the comments if you're going to make this for fall. It's so precious. How couldn't you? Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.